The award is for the most valuable player. But what constitutes value? And who determines the level of such when there is no set formula to follow? From 1931 through 2019, the American and National Leagues combined to present 179 MVP awards named by the Baseball Writers Association. A breakdown of numbers reveals that in the time prior to the 1969 expansion and creation of divisions, teams who had that year's MVP on their roster made the postseason, which meant a World Series berth, 67% of the time. Since the 1969 expansion, teams with an eventual MVP made the playoffs 70% of the time. MVP-led teams won a World Series championship 37% of the time prior to 1969, and only 13% since. This mostly has to do with the increase in teams and games that make up postseason play. In the American League, there have been 10 times in which a season's MVP played for a team that finished worse than second place. I discovered other candidates for the award who also were not on front-runner teams. Let's dive into some numbers. Jimmy Fox won 3 American League MVP awards, one of few to do so in consecutive seasons, and one of just a handful to win with different franchises. In 1933, his A's finished in third place, 7 games over 500, yet 19.5 games behind the pennant-winning Senators. Fox did win the Triple Crown that season. Compare those numbers with his 2 other MVP seasons. In 1932 and 1938, his teams finished in second place both times, 13 and 9.5 games off the lead, respectively. So we can determine the overall dominance across the stat board contributed to his winning, and none of those campaigns are anything to sneeze at. It's rare to see a pitcher win a league's regular season MVP and his team not have an outstanding year. Since the inception of the Cy Young Award, every pitcher who has won the year's MVP was also named Cy Young winner. But we're in 1952, and there was no such pitching award yet. Bobby Shantz of the A's led the league with 24 wins, but the team finished in 4th place, only 4 games over 500 and 16 back of the pennant winners. Compared to pitchers on teams that finished ahead in the standings, Bobby didn't walk many, Allie Reynolds didn't have many innings pitched, and Early Wynn walked a lot. So who would get your vote based on these numbers? Jackie Jensen's 1958 Red Sox came in 3rd place, 4 games over 500 and 13 back of the lead. He put up okay numbers, but except for his RBI total, the power numbers seemed low. Mickey Mantle helped the Yankees win the World Series and had a well-rounded season. Rocky Colavito's Indians didn't fare as well, but his year needs to be looked at more carefully. So why Jensen? Brooks Robinson is one of the greatest to ever play in the Diamond's infield. In 1964, the Baltimore Birds finished a whopping 32 games over 500 and only 2 games behind the lead, yet they finished 3rd. Similar to Jensen, he put up a high RBI total, but low in slugging and on-base percentage. During the season's last month, he raised his batting average 23 points. Tony Oliva's Twins didn't have a chance, although his individual performance was amazing. Here's the Mick once again in 1st place and massive numbers all around. He had already picked up 3 MVP awards. Did the writers feel that was enough and such dominance would be bad for the game's image? Baseball wouldn't get its first 4-time MVP until 2001. Now here's an award-winning performance you can't deny. Rod Carew, 1977. The Twins finished in 4th, 7 games over and 17.5 back. Imagine how much worse they would have been if not for the Panamanian. Kenny Singleton had respectable numbers, and Jim Rice, in the midst of a great run of seasons, led the league in homers, total bases, and slugging. Carew took care of the rest, leading all of baseball in batting, on base, runs, and hits. He also led the American League in triples and intentional walks. My vote is a little late, but it's going to number 29. Here's my buddy Robin Yount. The greatest season in Brewers history was due in large part to his stellar 1982 campaign. But many argue that Robin's second MVP award in 1989 was not nearly as deserving. The Brew Crew finished even in 4th place, 8 back of the lead. Cal had an okay year for a surprisingly good late 80s Oriole team. It's Ruben Sierra who dominated in numbers. However, his Rangers had a 4th place finish in the West, and my feeling is voters went with an established name. So let's talk about Cal Ripken, another player with a 2nd MVP season that wasn't as dominant as the first. Cal's 1983 campaign culminated in a championship, the last one Baltimore has seen. He led the majors in just about every category then. But in 1991, the O's finished in 6th place, 28 games under 500 and 24 games back. Cecil Fielder captured headlines with his home runs, but his batting average and OBP were way low. One could argue Frank Thomas should have won in his 2nd season, just like Cal did in '83. Alex Rodriguez is a polarizing figure, but no one can doubt his raw talent during the 3 MVP seasons he put up within a 5-year stretch. In 2003, his last year with Texas, the Rangers finished in 4th place, 20 games under, 25 games back. The only knock would be his not hitting .300, but what's 2 percentage points when his slugging was so high? A couple of Canadian birds did well that season, Delgado with comparable home run and slugging totals, and piling on the RBI. Vernon Wells had a low OBP, but otherwise was solid all year long. Mike Trout, the new superstar of the game. But how valuable has he been to the team? Through his first 9 seasons, Angel teams have made the playoffs once, and were swept in that lone series. That was 2014, when Mike led the league in RBI and total bases, and giving the team a bright outlook for the future. Then came 2016, and the Angels found themselves in 4th place, 14 games under and 21 back of the lead. Compared to a couple of first-place Sox, his average was similar, homers and RBI lower, and way low on total bases. So why give the award to an average season for a team that was not living up to expectations? Part of an even worse team in 2019, Trout again put up big-time numbers, although slipped in batting average. No one in the league really had numbers that would blow anyone away. Again, his team finished 4th, this time 18 games under, and an astounding 35 games back. MVP? 35 games back in 4th place? Where's the value there? I'm not knocking the player, but maybe he should have only been named Player of the Year. This exercise really is more a subjective opinion than having a hard stance on 1 or 2 or even 6 popular statistical categories. Alex Rodriguez was given a 10-year, $252 million contract with Texas in 2001, but stayed with the franchise for just 3 seasons. The signing didn't benefit the Rangers in the long run, especially after they had to pay the Yankees a portion of that contract to unload him. What's the point of such big contracts? Do franchises just want fans to come out during the season to watch certain players hit or pitch, putting the idea of building a long-term winning team as secondary? Let's not even get into Bobby Bonilla and his $1 million a year Mets contract, which is still active until the year 2035. Should baseball follow the other major sports and have just one MVP? With so much interleague play nowadays, it seems fitting. Which of the previous players do you think really deserve to win their award? How do you feel about the MVP becoming the most popular award of late? Leave your comments below, and thanks for watching. Another similar video to follow, featuring all the MVP winners from bad teams in the National League.